Alright, it's time to talk about Heresy. I don't normally do these videos, and I'm sure the season was going on for quite a while before I started playing it, but I just, it burns you out. This season burns you out. The single player mission is just like the multiplayer mission. There's no difference. Um, I'm sure there are YouTubers out there that even I watch, but I'm just gonna say I'm tired of it. Content creators for YouTube tend to be a problem to a point for games because they play it as their job. Most people don't have the time. I'm just gonna say there's yes, there's hard content. There needs to be hard content. There needs to be raids. There needs to be dungeons. But for normal players who go to school, who work a job, not to say content creation isn't a job, but like a job where you have to go to an office or you don't get to stream or talk to people in front of a camera, um, it's just not fun. The enemies regenerate health. It's a slog. It's a slog to get through. Um, the Let me just show you what it's called. This is what the single player mission is. This one, the Nether Explorer, and it is private. You can't change it. There's You get to a point where you had to beat a subjugator, and he just heals. It just heals and heals, and there's waves of enemies, and they shoot bull crap. It's a shit show. And then you beat it, you're worn out, and then you have to keep going. And it's just it seems like the single player shit is there to be filler. You shouldn't have to have PlayStation Plus for anything that has single player content in it. And I would say this about any other game that requires you to always be online. You have to matchmake. It's not fun. There's no difference between this, which you can play with people, and this. It's it shouldn't exist. Everything in here should be match made. It's not raids. It's not dungeons. And frankly, I think you should have matchmaking for dungeons as well. People can say whatever the hell they want, but bottom line is, um, it burns you out. It's burnout. And then you have to sit. You have to heal yourself. I'm lucky because I'm on Warlock, and we have Radiance. We have even other things. We can stand in a healing rift and heal us. The healing grenades on the solar subclass heal you right away, pretty much like all the way to full. I don't know how it is. And other Titans I think has some stuff, but you would have to use Lumina, which heals you, and then I believe there's some other things, armamentary, and you have to wear an exotic. So it's not. I wouldn't see myself even doing it on Hunter or Titan. Like it's not great. I don't even think you can get people to join you. And the only other game I would say that I had a problem with that was Warframe. Um, that everything's match made, and then they have sections where they have some missions where you play by yourself, and it's just sloggy bull crap. It's busy work, and like I said, this is my stance on it. You have to pay for an internet connection. You have to pay sometimes for PlayStation Plus. You have to pay for the game. You have to pay for expansions. Even games you don't have to do that. Um, in a game that requires you to be always online, you should never have to have something that isn't end game that's by yourself. I'm sorry, this is all there is to it. They have matchmaking in Destiny. You can't even use that. Um, and it's just if there was a difference between Nether Explorer and Nether with people, then I'd say yeah, it's fine. Maybe scale back, maybe have a difficulty selection. For people who are endgame players that want a little bit more, to get ready for dungeons. I would say yeah, the Nether Explorer on, let's say, hard mode would be, would be good, and have different boons and modifiers that they can pick, or have it where you can invite people from your friends list. But having it by yourself, it's not. I was an hour in, and like I said, Warlock made it a lot easier, and it's just not. It's not fun. It's the same thing. From the very moment you have to play that for the seasonal mission, it's the same. It's the same all the way through. And this season is basically started. I would not see myself playing Heresy, playing Nether Explorer for the whole season. I would rather miss out on the seasonal story than play Nether Explorer by myself again, one more time. And sure, people are gonna get mad. It's like, I'm sure people like Dado or them who've been playing for decades would have something different to say. It's like, but the bottom line is they're not everybody. They're not the majority. They're the minority. And um, like it or not, Destiny has done a lot of things to run away their their people that have been playing for a long time. And even Dado has talked about burnout. And Mylan has just straight up, from all looking at it, is that he has given up playing it. And there's other people that have been going over to Warframe. And so it's like there is not enough players to care about that shit. It's just the same. And it's like what, 20 or $30 for silver to buy this season, maybe even more. Um, there is a bundle you can get in the PlayStation Marketplace. I'm not sure what it's called, but it allows you to get. I think I paid like $14 or $15, and it's basically, it gives you an emote and it gives you enough silver to buy the expansion, which is like 1,000 something uh, silver. But let's see, get more. It doesn't even have it on here. So to buy what you would need, yeah, yeah. Anyway, it's just not fun. It's the same stuff over and over again. The map doesn't change. It's the same objectives. The enemy that you have to kill is the same. They're just they lock the story behind it too. It's like, we're gonna have this interesting story, and then we're gonna make you regret playing it. And by the time I get to it, I don't even want to explore anymore. Like, I don't want to look for anything in the single player objectives. And so basically, to look for stuff, I have to hope that I match up with people who are willing to take time and don't rush, because they have they have trained the majority player base so much through strikes. On strikes, you have a timer, and once you get to like 20 or 30 minutes, maybe even more, you can't get any more scoring. There's no scoring, um, and you start losing score. And so you take that player base and put it into something that doesn't have a time limit. The time goes up and it doesn't matter. It's like people rush through and they don't find anything. So then people are like, well, why am I not unlocking things? And and no one talks. No one talks, because why would you if you're going to get yelled at for not using the right loadout? And hell, even Warframe's having that problem now. The people just, they bitch at you for not having the right stuff. And it's like, if you're doing shit and you're bringing the team down, then fine. But like, if you're just playing, for God's sake, it's like, I'm not even gonna blame it on streamers. People just don't have problems. They don't have enough of their own problems to deal with. And so they bring it into freaking games, and it's like, things that should be fun. Like, look at this. Someone put a lot of work and effort into this. Someone put a lot of work and effort into the story. And what do? They lock it behind single player shit Nether Explorer that nobody fucking likes. And so it's just, I would say if you're going to get the season, you're gonna play it by yourself. Don't get it. Just don't. And Nether has so many bugs right now. I haven't encountered a whole lot of them. Most have encountered like delays or markers not showing up. You just look around, you find what you need to do. And if you're playing with multiple people, I would say the only time you should play Nether Explorer by yourself is the one time they require you to do it. Um, Other than that, don't fuck with it. You can find the same stuff um, in multiplayer that you can. And if you want to play single player games, don't get don't get PlayStation Plus. Buy a single player game, or get a game like Elden Ring if you want to beat yourself over your dick with it, or rip your insides out. Then play a hard game like Elden Ring, where you can just play it. You don't need to have PlayStation Plus or even internet, and just have fun. Just just have fun. There's plenty of other single player games out there. There's Soul Frame and some other stuff. I don't know how they're gonna monetize that, but it was fun. It was fun for the first couple hours, and then once you realize that the single player Nether Explorer is the same every single time, and the boons are not enough. The boons are not enough because you eventually start running across the same stuff. It's like it's like playing a roguelike for a couple hours every day. It's like, well, this is, I could play this for the rest of my life and, come home for work or whatever, play during the weekend. People have kids now. And then someone who plays it for a living or plays on stream is like, well, the 100th time seeing this boon or bust, and it's like, well, this is the game, you know. But bitching aside, it's fun. They should just do away with the timer altogether. And the scoring doesn't even make sense either because you don't get score. You don't get score in multiplayer Nether Explorer. There's just no score to be had. And the healing yourself is such a pain as well. And single players like even in Warlock is like, okay, put a healing rift down. Wait 10 minutes. You don't get to do anything. Hopefully you have a podcast on. Alright. Oh, I'm already down to half health again, go right back. Wait for healing rift to come back. And it's like that's if you want to have access to your actual grenades and just your super. Like that you can actually use to kill stuff. If you're using healing rifts or well of radiance, it's like you don't have a super. And then if you're using healing grenades, you're down to that's three things that you're down to now. Actually two. Because then you're just stuck with your punch and then actually that's it. Your punch because if you're using a grenade to heal, you're using healing rift. Yeah, you can get away with it if you have Promethean Spur, but like that's an old ass exotic. Who's using that? It combines healing rift with empowering, and that even doesn't work. You have to have healing rift on, and then it turns it into empowering. They don't tell you that though. So it's like the exotics don't work sometimes, and when you're playing by yourself, you notice the bugs. You notice every single bug, and it's like, when is this over? And so it's like, just don't play it. Just don't play the season. Um, Wait until the expansions. If you really want to watch it, watch videos, watch people, watch by for if he's even doing, he's doing the war videos still. I know about Milo. It's like, if you want to see story, if you want to watch gameplay, watch Ash Across or Dado or many of the other people still playing that play the seasons. They do live streams and stuff. Just watch them. Just you know, it's like I don't even have my sound on anymore when I play the seasons. So yeah, I hope they're saying something interesting. I really just don't care because I know at the end of the day I'm going to end up having to go back to another Explorer. by myself. By myself to get the little bit of story squeezed through the narrow urethra that is padded content that is another explorer by itself, by yourself. That's what it is. It feels like it's padded. Everything is there to slow you down as much as possible. Whereas like other games, I keep coming back to because it's the best example. Warframe. As hard or as easy as you want it to be. You could spend 10 minutes doing a mission. You could spend 20 minutes. You could spend an hour. It is up to you how quickly you want to play that game. And you can play by yourself. Everything is a choice. You can decide to play with people, or you can play by yourself. And even the hard content, you can matchmake. That's why Warframe did away with raids. You know, they have buggy stuff in there in that game. But the real reason is people don't want to play hard content by themselves. And you would think that Destiny learned our lesson with Dual Destiny. How many people have you seen that have the prismatic exotic? You know, it's like you're paying for content, you finish the story, you should have a way to get the exotic class items. That's your selling point. Not everything else. They want the class items. They hype those things up for almost a year now, and you have to deal with people in this game. And yeah, it's not just Destiny, but it's a good example. You know, there's a reason why the community is known as being toxic. Nobody wants to look at LFG. Nobody wants to raid with LFG. And it's like, I think in many ways, there's a lot of content creators that have their head up their ass. They've gotten so used to playing with their pool of people that it's always there around the same level as them, and they have their clans and shit, which I'm not mad about. What I'm mad about is that don't expect the majority of people to be at the level you are, and they would want to say, well, all those people have, even the people that been playing for years have jobs, have families, went to college, are doing shit. It's like, if you want to do content as your job, but don't act like you were ever the majority in this game. Don't act like that because you weren't. It was never the case. It wasn't the case with Halo. And it's like, it comes across as being a condescending asshole. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I don't want to spend an hour or more doing the same shit that I did the first time I played it. I'm sorry I don't want to waste my life doing that. Same thing with Final Shape. Once I realized you were never going to get the prismatic class item, nope, I'm good. The only one I completed that on was my hunter, I believe, and that's about it. It's the same thing with Beyond Light. It's like the Callus boss. Just let us kill the boss. There's no reason for shield gates. There's no reason for health gates. If you have an enemy that regenerates health, it does not get to have an invincibility phase and adds by yourself. No. If you're not going to run if you're not going to run a hardcore Lost Sector by yourself, you're not going to play hard story content by yourself. You're not going to do dungeons by yourself. It's the same thing. You're not going to even think about doing raids or raids by yourself. There are people that want to have fun. And having someone regenerate health with overshield is not fun by yourself. And so, last thing I'll say is do what you want. But outside of the one requirement for playing it by yourself once, don't play it. Just don't. It's not even good to make content. Unless you live stream, like what content is there? out of playing the same thing. People can tell when you're having fun. That's the thing. It's like it's the same thing as those. Before I close out, there's the same thing with those phone ads. People can tell when you're faking it. It's like it's not fun. They can tell by the way you're moving, by the way you're acting. I've seen people act that way during Iron Banner. I've acted that way, where people just start moving slow. They just bump into things like okay, whatever. Just end it. But I don't like making these type of videos. I really don't. Um, but it's just yeah. I wouldn't. There's so many other games coming out. You have Marathon now that they're thinking about releasing. Bungie's being gutted by PlayStation, by Nintendo, by Sony. And regardless what you think of how it was run, that's just how it is. So if there's even going to be a Bungie left or a Bungie the way it was before, um, but this game's been going on for far too long. Like it's just the nice things there are is overshadowed. Like I would love to have my sound. I would love to have if the seasonal missions were like some of the awoken missions for when you had to deal with Mara or when you had to deal with um oh I'm not even gonna say it Curse of Osiris. People like to hate on that DLC, but it's like it was straightforward. The missions can be done by themselves. They had story. You did the missions. They were shorter, and they tried to make each mission different. Point A to point B, none of this open-end shit. I'd rather have no Nether Explorer by yourself. I'd rather them get rid of that. I'd rather them taking the time to give us Curse of Osiris level story content with an actual story attached to it, with people talking, with holograms, with anything else besides Nether Explorer by yourself, and then just use that time to have Nether Explorer multiplayer, or hell, even do away with single player altogether. They could have the whole story be in multiplayer Nether Explorer. For Heresy, that could be it, and just focus on making the multiplayer part the best they possibly could. They could have done so much more if they just shoved the story into that and just had like a couple of breaks. Go to this location, go to that planet, talk to this person. Anything would be better than single player Nether. And it's starting to feel more like a phone game where you log in every day. You have this little checklist, and then I'm going to have to go back to the Nether, slog through it. I just quit the second time I had to go in. I was like, this is, and it's if you keep playing single player Nether, you're going to end up not liking multiplayer. It's just not going to be fun for anybody. And that's what people are complaining about. That's what people are complaining about with this season. The bugs are the problem. The problem is the content. And you're still having to deal with holograms. They just move them. Like or you go to the throne world and you do a mission. It's a hologram. You deal with the hologram. You hear I think Sabathoon's voice, and then she shows up, and then you see a hologram of the Drifter. So how is that different than going to the Helm and watching a hologram? How is that different than Beyond Light and listening to a lore dump? How is that any different than anything else? I'd rather have the status quo at this point that every other season had. I'd rather have them take like a part of a dungeon. Hell, you use a dungeon, right? Reuse a dungeon and use that for the story. There's so much dungeon shit that they have. Use some of that crap. No reason to fucking take a take something that should be fun it's just not fun. That's the problem. It's it's a slog and it's boring and everything you don't notice when you're talking to other people or when you're with a group, you notice everything. Every time something takes more time than it should, or every time you have to heal yourself and then the enemy is healing itself. Every time you have a stumbling block or just something that you start feeling like it's put there to pad out the content, even if it's not. And let's just face it, it's a dreadnought. It's a dreadnought. It's remember berries. It's fun. It's fun for new players until it's not. Until you realize it's the same olive drab or gray everything. The same platforms you're going over. The same enemies you're killing in the same exact location. And when you play multiplayer, you realize I just did this. I just did this by myself for no reason when I could have done it in half an hour or less with other people. And I could have not hated it. The only fun part I'm having with Heresy campaign is when you don't have to go to the freaking dreadnought. That's all there is to it. It's it's just yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. Let's at least look at the armor real quick. Let's see what Let's see what the armor looks like. 'Cause I did buy the season pass, so there's less armor. If you notice it, there's less armor than other seasons. Yep, yep. They have the ghost before they have the armor, and then you get to armor. Let's see what the armor looks like. Yeah, it looks okay. Bond. It looks. It looks. I'm trying to be nice, but it looks, at least for Warlock, um, like Iron Banner armor. Okay, now they got some good looking. That's really cool, actually. So I would say if you like the armor, then get the pack for like $14-15. It comes with the emote. Don't look at what the details are of the stuff on Steam or wherever you're buying this or what platform you're on. Don't just go for the silver right away. This looks cool. Let's see what they're working with helmets here. I'm not seeing a helmet. That looks okay. And there's an exotic ship. So the ship looks cool. Another thing for me, which I didn't like, is okay, that's a cool looking helmet. There are no red borders. The thing that could have made single player Nether palpable for me is red borders. I don't care what someone on YouTube fucking says. Don't listen to what I say. Have an opinion. Have your own damn opinion on something. Just think a little bit. This just goes for anybody at all. It's like, don't just take anybody's word for it. Red borders. Yeah, that's what got me going through. What got me going through Beyond Light. What got me going through the final shape is the single player campaign had red borders. Because they told you the thing about not getting the exotic class item came out while I was still doing the campaign. And it's like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not doing dual Destiny ever. Because screw matchmaking with other people in LG, and the in-game LG is no. Um, so I'll play for the red borders. At that point, I checked out the story and I was like, okay, I'll get the red borders, and they give you things this season doesn't have red borders. I don't know, like I don't know. Um, People seem to think that a looter shooter should just be about loot. The point of getting the loot, and this is one thing I think the Warframe community understands a lot better than Destiny, is the point about loot is to get you through the fun content. That's it. That's what loot is. That's the point of loot. The point isn't just to make another gun or another exotic that will sit in your vault. Let's just be honest. That's how it is. It's just going to sit in your vault, and it will nothing will happen with it. And they would have made another exotic for no reason. Like there's literally no point. And for some reason, the people in this game like, no, I need more loot. Do you? Do you need another hand cannon that looks the same as every other hand cannon? Do you need a roll on a gun when you could basically have something that's like that? How many more new perks do you need? Or would you rather have them? I'd rather have them take that time. I'd rather have them make red borders for a season, not make any other guns focus on shit they need to focus on. Make the freaking single player campaign good instead of making two sets of armor. I would rather have them have one set of armor in season pass and have red borders and have a good single player campaign. That's just all there is to it. Because what happens is when you make a red border, that's one less thing to have to make next season. Once you have a red border you like, why get anything else? If everybody had red borders that they liked, they could just pick what they want from other seasons. You know, make the red borders from other seasons available, and then everybody would have what they wanted. We already have all of these subclasses covered. We have Strand, we have Stasis, we have everything. But they're listening to people that are not the majority. And they're putting their majority through content that they don't care about for not even red borders. You already need like between what, 4 or 5 red borders? Let's see, how many red borders would I need to, let's see, patterns and catalysts. Okay, so 5, 5, 5, 5. You need 5 red borders to get a weapon unlocked, and that's with random weapon drops. So you already have RNG. What is it like for 5 for heavy weapons? So it's the same for everything. And then you have RNG. If they just released all of their red borders, look at all these guns they have, and this is just special. All these guns, all these freaking guns. Instead of making a weapon every single season, they have every single subclass covered. And all these, and there's space for more. Like, and then imagine what they could do for the other seasons. If everybody had a gun that they liked, or a glaive or whatever, then what could they spend time on? They could take their team that they have now and do Q&A. I'm just gonna say it. They could do Q&A. If they released all of the red borders, stop making guns, do balance patches to those guns that they had re-released, they could do Q&A. They could make the single player missions really good. You know, the best missions I think were probably Season of the Deep. You know, with Alsa and the going down to the arcology, that was really fun. Those were fun single player missions. They were hard. but they were fun. Um, and the armor looks cool. And so you have FOMO as well. You get rid of the FOMO, and you with the weapons there should be loot. You're making loot, and then you're going through the work of making these gun models. Like look at this, all these gun models they have these red borders. They could just and you have to rank the guns up. That just people are forgetting this that it takes time to rank a gun up. Yeah, you can leave it on you and not use it and just let it rank up, but it has to, you have to do stuff with it. You have to play with it. And maybe people wouldn't have such a hard time with the game if they didn't have to relearn new weapons every season. That's how it was in Destiny 1. You got a really good gun and you stuck with it. At least that's how I played it. I didn't freaking care about any of the other guns. I got a really nice Suros weapon and I stuck with it. I did was it King's Fall with it with my cousin and his friends. And that's before you had infinite ammo. So it's like they could rework a bunch of the perks for the old weapons. Um, there's just so much. There's just so much in this game. And I'm already 36 minutes in. Like, I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this, but if you're gonna give feedback to the devs, don't be an ass about it. And if you play PlayStation, then record. Just record. The more people record, democratize the hold that content creators have over the years of people who make this game. I'm gonna say, I didn't used to think that way, but given how they handled red borders, given how they handled doling out the exotic class items, there's clearly a problem here. And this isn't a call to harass people. This isn't a call to downvote people's videos. It's just I think that if they want to live in their cave and look at the shadows on their wall of what Destiny used to be, um, but they will be gone at some point. The old content creators will be gone. They're going to age out, and it's going to be up to the people who will make videos about this in the future to have a fair and balanced opinion, to take into account everybody who plays this game. To not let yourself get so jaded and screwed over to a point where it's like you don't care really about the game anymore. It's in a death march. That's with the content creators we have now. It's in a death march, and not all of them, but some of them are going that way. So I'm going to leave it there. It's so easy to record videos. Most laptops, most computers have software in it. There's just I'm gonna say pirate. You I don't make money on these videos anyway. Pirate. Just that's the best way to approach it. If software is too expensive, if everybody wants to go to the rental model, then fuck them. Just get one that's jailbroken. You know, you are not gonna you're not gonna cause a problem that way. If anything, if everybody pirated software, it would force these companies to actually make a good product and sell it and then update it. It's the last thing I'll say with live service games. If you have a live service game, the fuck you doing making people play by themselves? Give me my freaking money back every month. It's like it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy. You can play with other people, even in hard content. You play with other people. You play with other people. Live service game is not so they can do service the content, the creators of this game live. Because that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm paying Bungie so I can give them a hand job. Like that's what live service games feel like nowadays. It's like it's a game about loot. You want to time gate red borders and then you want to get rid of them. On top of having to grind for hours anyway to get the red border you want. Enough of this shit is like, oh, just play a raid, bro. Just play a raid, bro, dude. Just do a hardcore lost sector. You know, just deal with some shitheads on LSG and play a King's Fall. No, that what kind of crack you're on, man. People have lives. It's like, play the fucking game. You should be rewarded. Like, I would rather, people would rather play hentai games because at least they're servicing the customer. People don't notice a slog if they're looking at ass and tits. If you're going to make people grind in Destiny that much, spend that much money, make the characters more sexualized. I don't know what to tell you. You know, people don't know the shit that happens in a Warframe because of that. And the company's so good that they take feedback. You know, maybe, I don't know, get rid of the Eververse. Maybe bring Red Warriors back. Maybe unlock them from all the other seasons. You know, if you put half the care you put into Eververse, then people would be more forgiving. Nobody cares about charities you run. Nobody cares about the Black Lives Matter or all the identity politics. They want to play a good game. People are still playing First Ascendant because it's fun and you can play it with other people. They don't care about the grind. They don't care if you look like everybody else. It's a social game. Play with people. Everything should be matchmaked. I would rather deal with random teammates who know jack shit than I'd play Dual Destiny. Give me a full fire team of randoms, then I'll play Dual Destiny. Matchmake raids, then I'll play a raid. But if you're going to ask me to pay for a full price for a DLC, and then the same for a season, and given how seasons are going, then you're going to take red borders away? If you're going to get rid of RNG, then just get rid of RNG. Make it guaranteed. If you're going to play certain content, you get a guaranteed weapon. And just randomize the perks. That's it. You get one good weapon from a set of weapons, and that one has set perks. And every other weapon besides that is random. Like the curated weapons they did for the Season of Heroes or whatever, where you had the Hall of Champions. That was a good season. You know, people like that. It was the same. It was basically like a more advanced version of strikes. People know strikes. What they don't know is a timer that goes up, the scoring system that makes no sense, and then these people that are basically, what's it called, programmed into acting a certain way, and then you make them act a different way. The majority of players in this game have not needed to worry about health. They haven't. It's like I have good stuff. I have good stuff because I've played since the game came out. This is how it is. I've been playing since World War, and there are people who haven't. So what is the experience for in Nether Explorer solo for someone starting out? If that's your first season you're playing, what are those people doing? Like, those people don't get raid exotics. They're starting out. Every season is going to be someone's first season. That's why red borders exist. To give them something to grind for, something that looks nice, something that they can put shaders on and stuff like, I want to get this shader. And maybe they'll want to play the harder content to get a shader to make their gun look better. Maybe they'll want to get Masterwork gear. But it's like, no, we're not going to give you that. Because I'm just kidding, some asshole on YouTube or on Twitch said that it ruins the loot chase. Go fuck yourself. Kindly go fuck yourself. I don't care if people hate me. I don't care if people boycott me. I really don't at this point. You are ruining a game that's on its way out. That's it. It's rather not there's gonna be a game when Frontiers at released is going to have to do with how much people like Marathon. But that's all there is to it. If people like Marathon, why should I come back to Destiny 2? Let's let that sit in there for a minute. Yeah. And Elden Ring has a battle royale. It looks like that's coming out. You have a bunch of other games that are redoing their content. So it's like, why? And if they wait on the red borders, no one's going to be left to play. I will go back and I will finish Nether Explorer solo by myself for as many hours as it takes if they give us red borders back. That's all there's to it. And so will other people. So will other people because that's the reason for playing. That's the loot chase. It's a fucking goddamn loot. You get rid of the loot, there's no reason to play. Guess what, Chuckle Fucks? You still have to rank up a red border weapon. I'm sorry if you're so simian brained where you need a shiny new weapon every season. I'm sorry that you need 2 sets of cosmetic armor. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Anyway, thanks for watching. This will probably be the last time I make a video like this, but it's just there are more of us than there are of them. If you like something or don't like something, take to Twitter. I don't know if Bungie's on Reddit. Take to Reddit. Tell a company when you like something. Tell them when you don't like something. And maybe if people didn't bitch all the time, Bungie wouldn't check out. Yeah? Save your bitching for when it really matters. Like this season. Don't talk about the bugs. The bugs will get fixed. Talk about the content. What do I like in the content? What don't I like in the content? If you're on a console, for the love of God, start making videos. Start edit. Everything's on PlayStation. I don't know about the other consoles. Everything's on PlayStation. I'm sure Xbox has the same thing. Hell, even computers. I think Apple and Microsoft are doing the same thing. Record. If people don't care if you have a bad microphone. Just record something. We have to take the control away from the few content creators. They're outdated. They need to go away. They hate the game. They need to leave. I'm sorry you've been playing too much. Really. Like I'm sorry you let people's bitching get to you. I'm sorry that you have had so much time in the game where you can just walk through a Grandmaster. I'm sorry that that's the game for you because you're not enjoying the game anymore. you know. And if you want these content creators to go away, watch their other content. You know, if Dado had as many people watching his Balatro shit and his other shit as he did Destiny, I guarantee he wouldn't play Destiny anymore. A lot of people wouldn't. Help these content creators out. Help them by watching their other shit. Hell, give them money if you're able to. Anything to get them out of this fucking game. Seriously. And maybe Bungie will have to, for the love of God, listen to their actual player base. Maybe they'll do what Warframe did and got rid of the creator program. Maybe they'll do that because that's what Warframe realized. If people are hanging on to your nutsack, they won't want to say anything bad because we worry about being cut off. That's just all there is to it. And if you're gonna make your community stress test your game for you, if you're gonna make them put up with bugs, if you're gonna take their content away, give them something for beta testing your game. That's just all there is to it. Hell, you got games like freaking Honkai Star Rail apologizing when there's an outage, when they do an update. And people want to give those games shit. It's like, really? Like, why do the Chinese and Japanese understand this, but we don't? Like, they have diversity in their games, but they don't rub it in your face. We don't want time put into freaking emblems and shit that have to do with like political agendas. Take that shit somewhere else. Save the emblems for freaking endgame content. Give those gremlins something to get, and give us red borders back. Give the normal players something. Give us something to hold on to, something to sink our teeth into, something that makes freaking Nether Explorer solo worth it. If you're gonna make me wander around an olive drab rat maze, give me something. Because guess what? Getting a weapon, the loot chase is already there. It's already freaking there. Matter of fact, if you want your damn fucking loot chase, keep the random perks, drop the red borders. It's the same goddamn model. It's the same fucking model on the fucking weapon. Guess what's different? There's a lot of red border around it. Oh. In fact, to keep the content creators happy, bring the red borders back, don't keep the red border. Indicate it some other way. And that's all. I'm done now. Well, thank you for putting up with the 53-minute rant. I'll try to find a way to timestamp this. But I hope you all have a good day, and I don't know, wait for Heresy.